Have you ever looked at those vibrant 90 or 100-year-olds and wondered what their secret is? You probably imagine it's all about complex diets, expensive superfoods, or grueling workout routines. But the truth is far simpler and much more powerful. What if the key to a long and healthy life isn't about what you add, but what you avoid? Every single day, most of us unknowingly engage in at least one of 5 common habits. Habits that act as silent saboteurs, quietly accelerating the aging process and damaging our health from the inside out. In this video, we are going to expose all 5 of these traps, backed by solid medical science, giving you a practical blueprint for longevity. You need to watch this until the very end, because the 5th habit we'll reveal is the one most people completely ignore, yet doctors now warn it can be as detrimental to your lifespan as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and understanding it could be the single most important change you ever make for your future health. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment the number. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The siren call of ultra-processed foods and hidden sugars. The daily habit to avoid: mindlessly indulging in ultra-processed, industrially formulated foods that are engineered for convenience and hyper-palatability. These include sugary breakfast cereals, carbonated sodas, so-called fruit juices, often little more than sugar water, packaged snacks like potato chips and cookies, frozen meals, processed meat such as deli slices and hot dogs, and fast food items like burgers and fries. These foods dominate modern diets but pose a significant threat to long-term health. The in-depth medical explanation. The human body, shaped by millions of years of evolution, is optimized to metabolize whole, minimally processed foods like fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. Ultra-processed foods, UPFs, a relatively recent invention of the industrial food system, are far removed from what our biology was designed to handle. These products are not simply food with a few additives. They are complex, laboratory-crafted formulations packed with refined starches, unhealthy fats, such as trans fats and hydrogenated oils, excessive sugars, notably high fructose corn syrup, sodium, and a cocktail of artificial flavorings, emulsifiers, and preservatives. These ingredients are meticulously engineered to exploit the brain's reward system, making them hyperpalatable and difficult to resist, often overriding the body's natural satiety signals and fostering overeating. Chronic inflammation. The relentless consumption of UPFs triggers a low-grade, systemic inflammatory response in the body. Unlike acute inflammation, e.g., swelling from an injury, chronic inflammation is insidious, operating silently over years. It acts as a driving force behind numerous age-related diseases. For example, inflammation damages the delicate endothelial linings of arteries, promoting atherosclerosis and increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. In the pancreas, it contributes to insulin resistance, a hallmark of type 2 diabetes. Neuroinflammation, driven by inflammatory molecules crossing the blood-brain barrier, is implicated in cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Additionally, chronic inflammation is a known risk factor for arthritis, certain cancers, e.g., colorectal cancer, and autoimmune disorders. Metabolic havoc. The high sugar and refined carbohydrate content in UPFs causes rapid and extreme spikes in blood glucose levels. This forces the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin to shuttle glucose into cells. Over time, this constant demand exhausts the body's insulin response, leading to insulin resistance, a state where cells become less responsive to insulin signals. Insulin resistance is a cornerstone of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes elevated blood pressure, high blood sugar, abdominal obesity, and abnormal cholesterol levels, low HDL, high triglycerides. Metabolic syndrome dramatically accelerates aging and increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, and premature mortality. Moreover, the high fructose corn syrup prevalent in UPFs is metabolized primarily by the liver, leading to fatty liver disease, a growing epidemic even among younger populations. Gut microbiome devastation. The gut microbiome, a complex ecosystem of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms, plays a critical role in digestion, immune function, and even mental health through the gut-brain axis. A diet rich in whole, fibrous foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains nourishes beneficial gut bacteria, promoting a balanced microbiome. In contrast, UPFs are typically devoid of fiber and loaded with emulsifiers, e.g., polysorbate 80, artificial sweeteners, e.g., aspartame, and other additives that disrupt microbial harmony. These substances starve beneficial bacteria while allowing harmful, pro-inflammatory species to proliferate, leading to a state known as dysbiosis. Dysbiosis is linked to a host of health issues, including obesity, inflammatory bowel diseases, autoimmune conditions, and even mental health disorders like depression and anxiety due to disrupted serotonin production in the gut. The longevity prescription: what to do instead. Read ingredients, not just labels. Nutrition labels can be misleading, with terms like low-fat or natural obscuring the truth. Instead, scrutinize the ingredient list. If it's lengthy, contains unpronounceable chemicals, or lists multiple forms of sugar, e.g., sucrose, dextrose, maltodextrin, put it back on the shelf. A simple heuristic: if your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize the item as food, it's likely not worth eating. Embrace whole foods. Center your diet on nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods. Fill your plate with colorful vegetables, e.g., leafy greens, broccoli, sweet potatoes, fruits, e.g., berries, apples, lean proteins, e.g., wild-caught fish, free-range poultry, lentils, healthy fats, e.g., avocados, walnuts, extra virgin olive oil, and whole grains, e.g., quinoa, farro. These foods provide essential nutrients, fiber, and antioxidants that support cellular repair and longevity. Cook at home. Preparing your meals is the most effective way to control what enters your body. Even simple recipes, like a stir-fry with fresh vegetables and lean protein or a salad with olive oil dressing, are vastly superior to processed alternatives. Cooking also fosters mindfulness about food choices and portion sizes, reducing reliance on convenience foods. Hydrate wisely. Eliminate sugary beverages, including sodas, energy drinks, and sweetened coffees or teas, which are major sources of hidden sugars and empty calories. Instead, make water your primary beverage, supplemented by unsweetened herbal teas or black coffee. For flavor, infuse water with fresh fruit, cucumber, or herbs like mint. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. The silent threat of a sedentary lifestyle. The daily habit to avoid: spending prolonged periods in a state of physical inactivity, whether sitting at a desk for hours, lounging on the couch, or engaging in screen-based activities like scrolling through social media or binge-watching TV. This goes beyond skipping workouts. It's about the cumulative effects of a lifestyle that prioritizes stillness over movement. The in-depth medical explanation. The human body is a dynamic system engineered for regular movement. From an evolutionary perspective, our ancestors were constantly active, hunting, gathering, and fleeing predators. Prolonged sedentarism, a hallmark of modern life, disrupts critical physiological processes and accelerates aging. Metabolic slowdown. Physical activity is essential for metabolic health. Within just 90 seconds of standing or light movement, the body activates muscular and cellular systems that regulate blood sugar, triglycerides, and cholesterol. Prolonged sitting, however, puts these systems into a dormant state. This leads to impaired glucose metabolism, increased fat storage, and elevated levels of LDL, bad cholesterol, even in individuals who exercise regularly. Studies show that sitting for more than 6 to 8 hours daily is an independent risk factor for metabolic disorders, regardless of whether you hit the gym for an hour. This is why a single workout cannot fully counteract the damage of a sedentary day. Musculoskeletal decline. The adage, use it or lose it, is particularly apt for the musculoskeletal system. Inactivity accelerates sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, which begins as early as the 30s. It also contributes to osteoporosis, a condition characterized by reduced bone density and increased fragility. These changes significantly heighten the risk of falls and fractures in older age, which are leading causes of disability and mortality among the elderly. For example, a hip fracture in someone over 65 carries a 20 to 30% risk of death within a year due to complications like immobility and infection. Poor circulation and lymphatic stagnation. Movement is critical for efficient blood circulation, which delivers oxygen and nutrients to tissues. The lymphatic system, responsible for clearing metabolic waste, toxins, and pathogens, relies entirely on muscle contractions to function, as it lacks a central pump like the heart. Prolonged sitting causes fluid stagnation, reducing lymphatic drainage and impairing toxin removal. This can lead to swollen limbs, reduced immune function, and decreased oxygen delivery to vital organs, including the brain, which can manifest as fatigue, brain fog, and reduced cognitive performance. The longevity prescription: what to do instead. Incorporate movement snacks. Break up long periods of sitting with short bursts of activity, or movement snacks. Set a timer to stand up every 60 minutes and engage in 2 to 5 minutes of light movement, such as stretching, walking around the room, doing bodyweight squats, or performing desk push-ups. These micro-activities stimulate circulation, activate metabolic pathways, and counteract the negative effects of prolonged sitting. Engineer activity into your day. Move a seamless part of your routine. Opt for stairs over elevators or escalators. Park farther from store entrances, or walk or bike to nearby destinations. At work, consider walking meetings or standing desks to reduce sedentary time. Even small choices, like standing while taking phone calls, add up over time. Find joyful movement. Exercise doesn't have to mean grueling gym sessions. Discover activities that bring you joy, whether it's dancing to your favorite music, gardening, hiking through nature, swimming, or cycling, and make them a regular part of your life. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic activity per week, e.g., brisk walking, yoga, plus 2 sessions of strength training to maintain muscle mass and bone health. 3. The neglected necessity: sacrificing quality sleep. The daily habit to avoid. Consistently getting less than 7 to 8 hours of high-quality, uninterrupted sleep per night, or treating sleep as an optional luxury rather than a non-negotiable biological requirement. This includes irregular sleep schedules, staying up late for work or entertainment, and neglecting the conditions needed for restorative rest. The in-depth medical explanation. Sleep is far more than a period of rest. It is a dynamic state during which the body and brain undergo critical repair, maintenance, and regulatory processes. Chronic sleep deprivation or poor sleep quality disrupts these processes, accelerating aging and increasing vulnerability to a wide range of health problems. Brain detoxification. During deep sleep, particularly during slow-wave sleep, the brain activates its glymphatic system, a network of channels that clears metabolic waste, neurotoxins, and protein aggregates like beta-amyloid, which is strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. Insufficient sleep impairs this detoxification process, allowing toxic buildup that contributes to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative disorders. Research shows that even a single night of poor sleep increases beta-amyloid levels in the brain, while chronic sleep deprivation is a major risk factor for dementia. Hormonal regulation. Sleep is a critical regulator of the body's hormonal environment. During sleep, the body balances hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone, insulin, growth hormone, and the hunger-regulating hormones ghrelin and leptin. Chronic sleep deprivation keeps cortisol levels elevated, promoting fat storage, particularly visceral fat, inflammation, and stress-related disorders. It also disrupts ghrelin and leptin, leading to increased hunger, cravings for high-calorie foods, and weight gain. Additionally, poor sleep impairs insulin sensitivity, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Immune system fortification. Sleep is essential for a robust immune system. During sleep, the body produces cytokines, proteins that orchestrate immune responses to infections and inflammation. Sleep deprivation reduces cytokine production, weakening the body's ability to fight off pathogens. This makes you more susceptible to infections like the common cold and increases the severity of chronic conditions. Long-term, poor sleep is linked to higher rates of autoimmune diseases and even cancer, as a compromised immune system fails to detect and eliminate abnormal cells. The longevity prescription: what to do instead. Prioritize a consistent schedule. A regular sleep schedule stabilizes your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs sleep-wake cycles. Go to bed and wake up at the same time daily, even on weekends. For example, if you aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, a bedtime of 10:30 p.m. and a wake-up time of 6:30 a.m. can become a non-negotiable routine. Create a sanctuary for sleep. Optimize your bedroom for restful sleep. Keep the room cool, ideally 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. Completely dark, use blackout curtains or a sleep mask. And quiet, consider earplugs or a white noise machine. Remove electronic devices like TVs, smartphones, and tablets. as their blue light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep readiness. Develop a wind-down routine. An hour before bed, engage in calming activities to signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Avoid screens, as their blue light disrupts melatonin production. Instead, read a physical book, take a warm bath, practice gentle stretching or yoga, meditate, or listen to soothing music or a podcast. Herbal teas like chamomile or valerian root can also promote relaxation. This routine helps transition your body and mind into a restful state, improving sleep quality. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 4. The vicious cycle of unmanaged chronic stress. The daily habit to avoid. Persistently existing in a state of low-grade anxiety, worry, or pressure without employing effective strategies to manage or mitigate it. Allowing stressors from work, finances, relationships, or other personal challenges to dominate your emotional baseline, creating a chronic state of unease that becomes your default mode of being. The in-depth medical explanation. The human body's stress response, often referred to as the fight or flight mechanism, is an evolutionary marvel designed to ensure survival in acute, life-threatening situations. When triggered, the brain signals the release of stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol through the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis. These hormones prepare the body for immediate action by increasing heart rate, sharpening focus, and mobilizing energy reserves. While this response is highly effective for short-term threats, like escaping a predator, it becomes problematic when activated repeatedly or continuously by modern, non-life-threatening stressors, such as traffic jams, looming work deadlines, financial uncertainties, or interpersonal conflicts. In today's fast-paced world, many people live with this stress response perpetually engaged, rarely giving their bodies and minds a chance to return to a state of equilibrium. This chronic activation of the stress response has profound and far-reaching consequences for physical and mental health, accelerating aging and increasing the risk of numerous diseases. Cardiovascular strain. Chronic elevation of cortisol and adrenaline constricts blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and forces the heart to work harder to pump blood. Over time, this sustained strain contributes to the development of hypertension, high blood pressure, a major risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. Research indicates that prolonged stress significantly increases the likelihood of heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular events, as the heart and blood vessels endure constant wear and tear. Accelerated cellular aging. At the cellular level, chronic stress accelerates the aging process through its impact on telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes. Telomeres naturally shorten with each cell division, a process linked to aging and age-related diseases. However, studies have demonstrated that chronic stress accelerates telomere shortening by increasing oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Shortened telomeres impair cell division and repair, leading to faster aging and a higher risk of conditions such as cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Cognitive impairment. The brain is particularly vulnerable to the effects of chronic stress. Prolonged exposure to elevated cortisol levels is toxic to the hippocampus, a critical brain region responsible for memory formation, learning, and emotional regulation. This toxicity can manifest as brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, and impaired decision-making. Over time, chronic stress is associated with an increased risk of neurodegenerative disorders, including Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia, as it disrupts neuroplasticity and accelerates brain aging. Immune system suppression. Chronic stress also weakens the immune system by altering the balance of pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory responses. Elevated cortisol levels suppress immune function, making the body more susceptible to infections, delaying wound healing, and increasing the risk of chronic inflammatory conditions such as autoimmune diseases and cancer. The longevity prescription. What to do instead? Breaking the cycle of chronic stress requires intentional, daily practices that deactivate the stress response and promote activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs the body's rest and digest state. These strategies not only mitigate the harmful effects of stress but also enhance overall well-being and longevity. Practice daily mindfulness. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes each day to mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, e.g., box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, or progressive muscle relaxation. These techniques help calm the nervous system, reduce cortisol levels, and restore a sense of balance. Even a simple practice like sitting quietly and focusing on your senses, such as the sound of your breath or the sensation of your feet on the ground, can be profoundly effective in interrupting the stress response. Cultivate a gratitude practice. Spend a few minutes daily reflecting on or writing down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. Research shows that gratitude practices can rewire the brain to focus on positive emotions, reducing feelings of anxiety and stress. This shift in perspective fosters resilience and helps counteract the negative bias often reinforced by chronic stress. Set boundaries and prioritize rest. Protect your mental and emotional energy by setting clear boundaries. Learn to say no to non-essential commitments that drain your resources. Disconnect from work emails, social media, and news notifications in the evenings to create space for relaxation and recovery. Establishing a consistent evening routine, such as reading, journaling, or engaging in a hobby, signals to your nervous system that it's time to unwind. Engage in physical activity. Regular exercise, even a brisk 20-minute walk, is a powerful stress reliever. Physical activity reduces cortisol levels, boosts endorphin production, and improves mood. Choose activities you enjoy, such as yoga, dancing, or cycling, to make this a sustainable habit. By incorporating these practices into your daily routine, you can disrupt the vicious cycle of chronic stress, protect your physical and mental health, and promote a longer, healthier life. 5. The erosion of meaningful social connection. The daily habit to avoid, allowing superficial online interactions, such as scrolling through social media, exchanging brief text messages, or engaging in fleeting digital conversations, to replace deep, meaningful, in-person relationships. Gradually drifting into social isolation by neglecting to nurture authentic connections with family, friends, or community. The in-depth medical explanation. Humans are inherently social beings, with nervous systems hardwired for connection, collaboration, and belonging. Meaningful social bonds are not just a source of emotional fulfillment. They are a fundamental physiological need. A lack of genuine social connection, whether due to physical isolation, over-reliance on digital communication, or neglecting relationships, has profound consequences for both physical and mental health. Groundbreaking research, including studies from Harvard and the World Health Organization, has shown that loneliness and social isolation can be as detrimental to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or living with obesity, increasing mortality risk by up to 26 to 29%. The absence of meaningful social ties triggers a cascade of physiological and psychological effects that undermine health and accelerate aging. Physiological stress response. The brain perceives loneliness and social isolation as a threat, activating the same stress response as other dangers. This leads to chronic elevation of cortisol and inflammatory markers, such as C-reactive protein, which contribute to a host of health issues, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and weakened immune function. Over time, this chronic inflammatory state damages tissues and organs, accelerating the aging process. Behavioral consequences. Socially isolated individuals are more likely to adopt unhealthy behaviors, such as poor dietary choices, smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, or physical inactivity. Without a supportive social network, they may lack the encouragement or accountability to maintain healthy habits or seek timely medical care. For example, a friend or family member might notice early signs of illness and urge a doctor's visit, a role that's absent in isolation. Reduced cognitive resilience. Social interaction is a powerful form of cognitive exercise. Engaging in meaningful conversations, sharing experiences, and navigating complex social dynamics stimulates brain regions involved in memory, problem-solving, and emotional regulation. Strong social networks are consistently linked with a lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Conversely, social isolation is associated with faster cognitive decline and a higher risk of neurodegenerative diseases, as the brain receives less stimulation and resilience-building input. Mental health impacts. Loneliness is strongly correlated with depression, anxiety, and reduced self-esteem. These mental health challenges further perpetuate isolation, creating a vicious cycle where individuals withdraw from social opportunities, exacerbating their sense of disconnection and its associated health risks. The longevity prescription. What to do instead. Building and maintaining meaningful social connections requires intentional effort, especially in a world where digital interactions often overshadow face-to-face relationships. By prioritizing authentic relationships and community engagement, you can enhance your physical health, mental well-being, and longevity. Nurture your core relationships. Invest time and energy in your closest relationships. Family, lifelong friends, or chosen family. Schedule regular phone calls, video chats, or in-person visits, and treat these commitments with the same priority as a work meeting or a doctor's appointment. Share experiences, such as cooking a meal together, going for a walk, or attending an event, to deepen these bonds. Small, consistent gestures, like checking in with a loved one or expressing appreciation, strengthen relationships over time. Join a community with shared purpose. Seek out groups or communities that align with your interests or values, such as a book club, hiking group, volunteer organization, religious community, or sports league. Participating in activities with a shared purpose fosters a sense of belonging and provides opportunities for regular, meaningful interaction. These connections can serve as a buffer against loneliness and provide emotional support during challenging times. Practice proactive connection. Take the initiative to maintain and build relationships. Don't wait for others to reach out. Be the one to send a thoughtful message, make a phone call, or suggest a meeting for coffee or a meal. Small, consistent efforts, such as remembering birthdays or checking in during tough times, help sustain strong social ties. Over time, these actions create a robust network of support and connection. Limit superficial digital interactions. While social media and digital communication have their place, prioritize in-person or voice-to-voice interactions over text-based or passive online engagement. Set boundaries around screen time to create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. By actively cultivating and sustaining meaningful social relationships, you can counteract the detrimental effects of isolation, enhance your resilience, and promote a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. And there you have it, the 5 silent saboteurs that could be holding you back from a long and vibrant life. Remember, longevity isn't always about adding more to your plate. It's often about what you choose to remove. So, what have you learned so far? We'd love to hear from you. Take a moment right now and comment on the one thing you've learned today that you will bring to practice in your life, starting tomorrow. Is it cutting out that sugary drink, taking a walk every hour, or maybe calling a friend instead of scrolling? Your commitment can inspire others. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and here's to your health.